Hey guys, it's Damien.
And I'm Kenady.
And thank you so much for joining us. Now today we're talking about online dating. And we know that it is becoming popular to date people online. So we're going to have some tips for you today so you can navigate this space well.
That's so good. So the first tip that we want to provide is making sure that you're ready, that you're not using online dating app to fill a void, help with heartbreak, or just tired of being single. Make sure that you're led by God, number one. We don't think that online dating apps are a sin. We actually know people personally where God used that as an avenue to bring people together. And so we know that it can be used as a good thing. Just making sure, again, that you're not using it as a void and that you're in a healthy space to even start putting yourself out there. Not someone who's needing some healing, inner healing, and some deliverance and things like that, but make sure that you're healthy enough to put yourself out there.
So number 2 is be real and be yourself. You want to be authentic. As a Christian, you want to be yourself. I was looking at a study. It said 40% of people lie on resumes. I think it's more than that. I really do think it's more than that. But you have online resumes now, and especially your profile pic and things like that. And so be yourself. Do not catfish anybody. As Christians, we should not be catfishing anybody.
So the third tip is define what you're looking for. Be open and honest. Don't try and lower your standards and try and get enough people, but say, as Christians, we need to be intentional about who we're wanting to be with, who we're looking for. And so don't be afraid to be honest, not just yourself, but honest with what you are looking for in a potential mate. And so asking some questions that will help weed out some people. One popular thing, which might sound silly, is, are you in a relationship?
Are you married?
Are you still married now? And legally married, but separate. These things you want to put out in the front. Like, I am not trying to find someone who's in another relationship and just kind of no polyamory over here, no polygamy over here. You want a monogamous relationship. Another question is, what is your intention here on online dating? We want to make sure, again, that we know that the intention here doesn't mean that you will be married or anything like that, but are you even looking for marriage or a long-term relationship and things like that? And also, are you a Christian? Again, just because we're on online dating still does not mean that we are not seeking equally yoked relationships. And so weeding people out, no missionary dating online. Be upfront and honest on what you're looking for.
So number 4 is know your value. You don't want to settle. Even though you're on an app, you don't want to settle. Don't cheapen yourself or do crazy things, talk about crazy things, show crazy things on these platforms just to get or find love. You have to remember that God loves you and that God created you to receive love and to give love. And so, again, do not settle and know your value and know your standards.
That's so good. So here's a big one. Number 5, invite people in on this process. Just because you're online does not mean you still don't need accountability. Make sure you have friends that you can trust, that you're saying, especially if you're meeting someone after that vetting process, that you're meeting someone in person, invite them in like, hey, this is who I'm meeting. This is where we're meeting at. And check in on me and things like that. And so we always encourage people, don't date alone, but invite people in that can do some research, especially those folks that have a good little research.
She was doing research on me.
Social security number checking, all that stuff. You know what I'm talking about. But again, don't do it alone. Make sure you have people in to help you keep those boundaries and everything else.
So number 6 is take your time. Another word for this is pacing yourself or be patient. Remember that relationships are not built overnight, they're built over time. And so we do not want to rush our emotions, right? Or get so far ahead of ourselves that we're in our heads all the time. Like, does he like me or does she like me?
We're going to get married.
People do this all the time. And also, we do not want to rush our emotions or push our emotions past the commitment or the stage of relationship that we're in. And so if you're friends, be friends. But again, we're not writing our names and scheduling our wedding and stuff like that already. And so really pace yourself and take your time in online dating.
So number 7 is establishing your boundaries. This can involve how long you're on the app, what times you're on the app, and communicating with someone, especially if it's over the phone. We know that if it's late hours in the night and you start talking about things can drift along the wrong way. And so setting those boundaries. Also, if you're meeting in person, still setting boundaries as well. And so we want to make sure as Christians that we're walking in purity and that we're being open and honest and saying, hey, if we're meeting here, I'm not going over to your spot afterwards and all those things. Just making it upfront and intentional and knowing those boundaries that you have.
So number 8 is don't be greedy. What does this mean? It might be tempting to date multiple people, 3, 4 people at a time, but don't be greedy. Focus on the person that you have right in front of you. We're not trying to be like the world. I heard even Christians say, hey, just date many of people, and that's not godly because you only marry one person. So we have to practice self-control and focus on that person in front of us and say, look, I'm just going to court you. I'm going to date you at this moment. This means don't be picky either, because sometimes people are going to offend you. Most times,
everybody
gets offended, right? And so here we have to learn how to be gracious and also forgiving, because in a marriage you have to be gracious and also forgiving. And so don't be greedy. Again, try to focus on the person that you are trying to date and see what God is leading your relationship.
That's so good. And so we hope these tips help you. If you have any more, put them in the chat. We'd love to hear. And so you can check out more videos that we have.
Again, my name is Damien Nash.
And I'm Kenady Nash.
And we'll talk to you next time.
Bye. No catfishing.
No catfishing.